Hey, great. So we are live. Welcome everyone to another episode, Let's Talk FM, episode number 19. Let's Talk FM, Secrets of Success. So today, a very special guest, Kelsey Blake. Hello, Kelsey. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. So thank you very much, Kelsey, for joining us. And did you have a busy day?
I did have a busy day today. Lots of calls, lots of orders to process and sorting out things with customers.
Perfect. So Kelsey, let me just introduce you briefly, because you told me a few words about yourself. So Kelsey is a remarkable entrepreneur. She's a mother of three who transformed her life from living on benefits to leading a multi-million-pound team. And she's been a top performer in customer retention and also recruitment. She's built a huge team that consists of 20,000 members worldwide in just 5 years. She's a Diamond Orchid. She's a proud business partner of FM World UK, a leading network marketing company. And today, she will be sharing her incredible journey and also expertise in branding, social media, customer gathering, systems, recruitment, and more. So it is going to be a very exciting episode, and I hope that everyone will enjoy that. So one more time, Kelsey, thank you very much for joining us. And could you just tell everybody a few words about yourself? Your background and how everything started.
Yeah. So I am a mum of three, like you say, and a dog mum of one. If you follow me, you know about Milo. And I'm from Scarborough in the UK. I actually got into network marketing in 2017 because I had something that happened in my life that it showed me that my life was run on somebody else's clock. And it also highlighted very painfully that I didn't have enough money. And because of those two things, it pushed me into network marketing. I started to look to find another way because I thought this cannot be it. So I joined one in 2017, which was not very successful. I will not lie, for attention. It wasn't the best thing ever. However, it did expose me to a different way of making money. I was exposed to a lot of people making a lot of money in the industry, and I'm not the type of person that will be like, I can't do that. I was a bit like, well, if they can, why can't I? And at the time, I didn't have the skill set, I didn't have the background, I didn't have the knowledge, but I was absolutely obsessed with finding a way how to make it work. Joined my second company in 2018. That's the one that I was with for 5 years. Things started to go downhill a little bit, and I knew I had to find somewhere else, and that's when I came across FM.
Okay, so you came across FM, and what attracted you? What drew your attention in the first place?
I looked at lots of different companies. Like you say, I built a multi-million-pound business there. I had an organisation of 20,000 people. I was the top customer gatherer, I was the top recruiter, and I was the top rank as a female there too. And so I was looking for something where it was very customer centric, where you could not only recruit, but you could definitely have a customer base, because a lot of the time in other network marketing companies, they're very driven by pack buying, which means that the organisation of your team is your customers. And I didn't want something like that, because my other organisation was built on one customer at a time. So I was very intent on looking for something that was customer centric, because I knew that the organisations that I built were sales teams. And so actually one of the things that made me say absolutely yes, I'm in, was the preferred customer. The system for preferred customer. I thought, do you know what, I can make an awesome system for that. And we did. We got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of preferred customers in the first month, and I believe that we still do.
Perfect. You mentioned that it wasn't really easy at first. So what were the biggest challenges that you faced during your journey, and how did you overcome them? Because sometimes people sort of think that, you know, when you join a network marketing business, it's quite easy. They call this a passive income, which sometimes may be misleading because at first it has nothing to do with passive income. You need to work and you are going to face challenges. So what were the challenges and how did you overcome them?
I had absolutely no skill set. I was absolutely sold the dream of all you do is post on social media and straight away you'll be earning £2,000, £3,000, £4,000 a month. And at the time I was working in a fish and chip shop on Scarborough Seafront and I was lucky if I earned £600 a month. So for me, £2,000 a month, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, let me get started. I bought a pack, you know, the packs that we all buy. I bought a pack, I got started, I lent the money to get started because I didn't even have the £140 at the time. And my whole business plan was, I buy the £140 pack, I sell it on, I make their 140 back, I make myself 150. That was my entire business plan. I had absolutely no skill set and no knowledge on sales or anything else. Nothing to do with branding, absolutely nothing. So I failed forward. I just started posting on social media. I did get some sales from what we call our warm market. So we've all got those people who will buy off us, who know us, who will trust us enough that they will buy something, but it was a very small amount of people. It was maybe 10 people. Okay. And after I'd gone through those 10 people, I hit a brick wall that a lot of people hit in network marketing because they have no idea how to expand the net, basically. And so that was the biggest stumbling block I came across. And the only thing that helped me move forward was to suck really bad at what I was doing until I sucked less. Like, that was literally it. That was my whole plan. It was like, if I keep doing this bad, eventually I'm going to have to get better, right? Like, that was my whole plan.
Okay. And you mentioned that you are good at branding. So how important is personal and business branding in network marketing?
I think it's so important, not even necessarily business, personal, 1,000,000%, because brands build trust, right? I talk to my team and other people who I train and coach all the time about, like, brands that you know, like, and trust. It's the same as a person. You have expectations of a certain brand and it's exactly the same for yourself too. And so branding for yourself is so important, and it's not, I want to just underline, it's not like a certain font that you have or a color scheme or anything like that. It's like core values that drive you as a person that show up in your social media. And it's so important if you want to build a customer base of people who continue to come back. It's fine to get like one customer one time, but if you want customers to continuously come back, it's super important that your brand is on point.
And can you tell everyone which social media platforms do you use and what sort of content works for you?
Predominantly, I'm a Facebook person because I'm old, as my children call me. Like, if I tell them, like, have you got Facebook? They're like, oh my God, like, I'm so uncool. I have got TikTok. Yeah. However, I have no idea how to maneuver that in a way where people will know, like, and trust me, because the platform is so big. There's no way for me at the moment, apart from funneling people into my other social medias, to get them into that, the feeling that they know me. Yeah. Because the platform is so big. So I have got TikTok, but my platform's massive on there and I don't know how to convert that at all. I have got Instagram, same thing. I think it's a different age dynamic. So I am not that aesthetic young person. I'm more like the old fogey of the place. So I use Facebook. I use Facebook group, I use Facebook story, I use my profile, and then I also use WhatsApp broadcast. Okay. Yeah, so these are a few different channels that work for you. And yeah, obviously you interact with your audience. And the question is, because very often people have a problem to convert someone who basically starts interacting with you into a customer or a team member. So how do you do that? Funnels. 1,000,000%. Like, I use my Facebook, my main Facebook page is where I post my content so that people feel like they know me, so people get to know me. My content is, if you've never seen my content, you might want to skip it, Martin. I'm not going to lie to you for attention, mate. But it's very humorous. So if you can make somebody laugh, you can sell them anything. Like, that is, honestly, I believe it 1,000,000 times over. And a lot of the time, like attracts like, right? So anything that I am attracted to, like, that's how I post my content out. And so a lot of my stuff is humorous. I also share things about my family. And then my struggles and stuff too. So I posted one today about a reel today about how when I'd started, I was made to feel like I couldn't be successful by being myself. I had to be somebody else. And so I made it my main goal to be successful by only being myself. And I think that's a huge part of my brand as well. But funnels, so funneling somebody from, like, somebody might interact with me on my story. I have no idea if they want to buy a product. So I need to find out if they want to be in my customer group. From my customer group, I put them into my funnel in my WhatsApp, like, so it goes 1, 2, 3. Because Facebook limits you a lot of the time, so you cannot rely on just Facebook anymore. So now I rely on talking to the customer very much one-on-one in WhatsApp. Funnels are 1,000,000%. If you are only posting on the front end of your social media, it's super hard to find out who wants your product or who wants to be part of your team. So definitely having funnels in place where you can put them in certain places to find out, to ask the questions, etc., I think is super important.
Yeah, you seem to be really well organized, and you really know what you want. Considering that you mentioned that you didn't have any network marketing skills when you when you started the business, so so how do you manage everything? You know, your personal life, your business life, so effectively that everything seems to be running so smoothly.
I will, again, and my catchphrase is I won't lie for attention, so you might hear that a lot. As a woman, I feel like women beat themselves up anyway. So having balance anyway, I think, is almost impossible as a woman, because especially if you're a producer like me, so I love overproducing. If you're not producing enough, you beat yourself up. If you're not giving enough time to your kids, you beat yourself up. If you're giving too much time to your kids and not enough time to your business, you beat yourself up. So I feel like it's impossible as a woman to get complete balance, or it feels like it's impossible. Within business, I am super structured. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I've got lists for certain things, for like prospects who say they want information so that I can follow up. I've got lists for my customers. I've got printouts. I've got all of the things so that I know exactly where I need to go. I just think with work-life balance at the moment, I would say it's easier for me because I have got a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And so my 16 and 17-year-old pretend I don't exist anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they pretend I do not exist because they're moody teenagers. But when they were a lot younger, I feel like I struggled with it a lot more because I was that person who was like, oh my God, am I giving them enough attention? Am I nurturing them enough? Like, am I being a good mum? Am I being a, you know, that type of thing? And eventually I just had to put it on the side burner. I just had to be like, do you know what I can do every single day is enough. If I'm providing for my family, it's enough. You know, if I'm there for my kids and they feel like they can talk to me, etc., so on, my spouse is happy, like, I just feel like I just have to tell myself, like, that's enough. And if it's not, I would hope that one of them would tell me.
Kelsey, so do you focus more on selling or recruiting?
Okay, so I honestly think that they're both the same. I really do feel like they're both the same. I feel like people struggle with this because they think that it's completely different. And so sometimes I'll hear of people who I'm coaching within my team, like, oh, you know, I've been customer gathering like mad. I've sold so many products, but I've not recruited anybody. Or on the back burner, they'll say, you know, I've been selling so much, I haven't recruited a single person. And I just think when you streamline them both as you're either selling a product or you're selling yourself, I feel like they're exactly the same thing and you can have both. So last month, I think I did about 35 to 40,000 points on my own. And I also recruited 16 new people.
Oh, wow.
And that just from just streamlining it and just making sure your systems are all set in a line and you know exactly who the follow-ups are. And you just have like a direction of where you want to go with it. I don't think that they're different. So I do both.
Okay, so in terms of product and selling, do you specialize or do you prefer a certain group of products, or do you focus on all of the products, basically?
I definitely don't focus on all of them because I think we've got, what is it, like 1,200 products?
We've got around 1,000 products.
So many, my brain would literally come out of my nose. Like, I would just hemorrhage. I could not do that. So the team, we teach core products, so 10 maximum, because obviously to expose a product efficiently, So to, you know, give some education, to show before and after, to do a demo of it, like,
Yeah.
I don't think that you can have more than 15 of those, because it's, I think it's scientifically proven you have to expose a product to somebody on average 11 times.
Yeah.
So that's 11 times, 5 different ways for each product, and that's hard. Like that, if you're doing it efficiently, it's hard. And so we teach core products, 15 max, 5 minimum, and it can be a range of products. So for me, I absolutely love, and I use twice a day, every day, the complex eye serum, the duo, the toning pads, and then the ideal shape I've lost 19 pounds with since June. So I absolutely love, and I talk about them all of the time at the moment. There's a handful of perfumes that I use and talk about all of the time, and then there's a few odd bits and ends, like I love the drain cleaner. What else do I talk about, Kelsey? Come on, brain, think of things. The coffee. The coffee. Oh, I can't believe I forgot that one.
Is it the metabolism coffee?
The metabolism,
Okay.
yes, because my old company, we only sold coffee, and so that was perfect.
You must be an expert in terms of coffee.
Absolute expert, considering when I first started in my old company and I was prospected for my old one, I said to him, I don't like coffee, I don't drink coffee, so there's no point in me joining. And then I became the #1 top producer for selling coffee. So that's just wild, isn't it?
So, okay, if you could highlight, let's say, 3 benefits of drinking metabolism coffee, what would you say?
Mood, energy, focus, weight management, because that's what I used to say about my old one too.
Okay.
Those
perfect.
are always, every single bit of content that I do is always, because I think that energy, just for anybody who's watching who wants a top tip here, I think energy is ranked the biggest thing that people look for in the whole wellness industry. People do not have enough energy anymore. Like we're overworked, we're underpaid, we are tired. So energy is one of the first things that people look for in a wellness product. So energy always comes first for me, above weight management.
Yeah, and also you mentioned ideal shape.
Yes.
And that you've used that yourself as well. Yeah, so you promote this product. Have you got any significant benefits or makeovers with people using the product?
I have got tons and tons. So I've sold 250 bottles of these so far since I started telling people that I was actually using it last month. So again, a funnel. So I've funneled all the people who are going to buy from my group into a WhatsApp group. I work very much on pre-order lists. So even when it sells out, because it's going mental at the moment, I'm constantly building pre-order lists and taking people's money so I can shop the order straight through. So now we've got a funnel over there in WhatsApp, and I think there's 100 customers in there so far. So we're all using it together every single day. We're making sure that we remind each other about water. We're showing each other's meals, and we're giving each other, you know, hints and tips, etc. And then it's also really good to get reorders too. So when I know that people, you know, I've got like a list of people who ordered on a certain day, I can go get reorders for it too. And if they feel like they're a bit more supported in it, a lot of the time you can sell a product, you can forget about the person, especially if you're not, you know, if you're not writing it down, etc. And you might go back to follow up a month later and they might be like, oh, I haven't even started taking it, I forgot. Like, that's not what you want, because you want the feedback coming in. So a lot of people, I've had a lady last week, she's got fibromyalgia, I think it is. She said she's managing a pain with these. There's an anti-inflammatory in them, obviously. Managing a pain so much better with them. She's got so much more energy, and she's also losing weight too. I've just had somebody message me saying she's only been on them a couple of days, she lost 2 pounds. So I'm constantly getting messages off these customers every single day, like, should I feel like this? I feel full, I've only had a couple of bites, like, what's going on? So it's a really great product, and it's really what's the word, convenient. It's really convenient as well, because they can just shot it in the bag. Like, I don't think there's any way that you can't use this product. You can take it on a holiday with you, can shot it in your bag. Like, if you forget to take it on a morning, it's in your bag, so it's fine. So I just love how convenient the little capsules are.
Yeah, and also they're really, really natural. So they're based on natural ingredients. So there's nothing really chemical in them. Yeah, and people do get really good results, and the products are very often out of stock. But the reason for that is that they are so effective and so popular.
Sell so well.
Yeah. So now let's leave the product on the side and let's focus on team building, because it is not easy task to manage a huge team. So how do you do that? Do you, for example, work with certain people only, or do you work with everyone? Do you delegate work, or do you select a certain people who are leaders in your team? How does it happen? Because sometimes people get confused and they say, okay, if I have, let's say, 20,000 people in my team, how do I manage that?
Yeah, we've definitely got a team of leaders, so we can all share the workload on things like training and all the rest of it. But yeah, I definitely do. So I work with everybody. So we've got things like chats and stuff, but we definitely do delegate people and help people into leadership so they can also efficiently look after their own teams by giving them the same systems. But it does all very much feel like we're all just one team at the same time. Systems are super important, just like I have systems for myself to make sure that my workday flows. I think the reason we grew so quick was because of the systems that we built at the start. So I signed up on the 20th of March 2023, but I didn't launch the business until the 1st. So we took a whole 10 days to make sure that we had enough systems in place that we could launch on the day and people knew exactly what they were doing. And I think that we grew into like a team of like 800 people in the first month. So the systems that we put in place definitely worked. And I just feel like confused people that don't do anything. So it's super important that when you do set up a new starter, even if you haven't got a huge team or even if you haven't got your own systems in place yet, it doesn't mean that you can't do them. It doesn't mean that you can't make them or build them. You just have to know exactly the direction that you want to go and what you're trying to achieve with it. When I started in network marketing again, I had no leadership in the first one. I couldn't make any money. I had no idea what I was doing. In the second one, I sort of knew the direction I wanted to go. I knew what I wanted to do and become. I just had to work out a way to do it. And in the second one, there was no systems at all. So there was no training groups. There was no upline doing the trainings. There was no apps that they could tap into. There was nothing ready there for me. And so I had to find a way to do it myself. So it was exactly the same here. It was like, okay, I need to find something that works for me here as well. So just because you haven't done it before doesn't mean you can't now. Good communication is super important within teams. And never stop being the student. Like there's never a time when if you're in leadership, there's never going to be a time when you're going to arrive. Like there's never going to be a time when you're going to be like, oh, that's enough. Like I can just stop. Well, in my opinion, there might be some retired network marketers watching this now, like, excuse me, that's fine. But I feel like even if I get to the level of like Leanne Ramby, Joe Skipsey, I don't think I'll ever stop being a top producer because I feel like it's my hobby.
Yeah. So you're a really energetic person. You've got lots of positive energy. But not everyone is like you. You may have some team members whose motivation go down, right? So how do you motivate them? Do you motivate them, or you just don't believe in, that motivation works?
No. My quote the other day on the FM page actually was like, you can't run a business on feelings. Like motivation is a feeling. It's the same as like you could be happy 1 minute and then your kid does your head in, and then you're annoyed, or the dog poos in the hallway and then you're sad. Like feelings change by the second sometimes, and so trying to run an efficient business based on the way that you feel at that time, I think is mental crazy. When I started in network marketing, I was a completely different person. I was very negative. I had no self-belief in myself. I had no confidence. You couldn't even find a picture of me on social media. I'd never pressed the live button. To me, I always tell my team, like, it is a case of the people who want it will make it happen. It doesn't matter how much content you give them, how many times you call them, how many systems you give them, how many Zooms you put them on, how much training. Like it literally doesn't matter, because I got given nothing when I started, and I found a way to make it work because I wanted to make it work. And it's exactly the same. The people who want it will go out and find a way to make it work. And if they've got you as somebody who is there coaching, guiding, building systems, giving them things as well, that will 1,000,000% help. But it doesn't matter if you pass all of that to a person. It just depends on what they want to do with it. Like you could pass it to one person, they'll fly and they've never had any experience. You'll pass it to another person who's had no experience and they're in a completely different mindset and they'll do absolutely nothing with it. So I don't think as uplines there's a lot more than you can do other than leading the way, showing up, being in the trenches with people, showing them that it can be done. The right people, that will motivate the right people. Like if she can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, and yeah, that's true. I just want to ask you one more question about basically growing the business and sustaining the growth. Um, because yes, in your structure, you've got many different people. And as you said, network marketing basically had a positive impact, not only for your finances, but also for your personal growth as well, right? So having all of this in mind, what is your key to sustained growth in network marketing?
Sustained growth in network marketing is always be the leader. Like 1,000,000%. If I'm telling you this right now, my team will agree with me in the comments. I'm almost certain if I went AWOL for a month, a lot of them would also go AWOL. Like, people do what you do. They rarely say do what you say, but they will always do what you do. And that how many times has that been proven in network marketing as a leader? Like, you might post the wrong thing on a post and you think crap, but already 100 people have posted it because they're watching what you do.
Yeah.
They are always watching what you do. If you stop recruiting, your organization will start to go backwards. If you start recruiting, your organization will start to go forwards. If you start thinking outside the box and being more creative with your content, your team will start doing that too. If you start creating better systems to get more customers, your team will start using them. Like, I always think that you should be in the trenches doing the things that you expect your team to do, and I think that sustains. I would have sustained the other business. It wasn't my fault. That was going bust, unfortunately, and there's nothing I could do about it, but I sustained a massive income for 5 years with a team that was ever growing, and I intend to do exactly the same here.
Kelsey, you've achieved a lot. So now is the time to show off. So can you tell everyone what kind of perks and extra things, along with your, commission and the money that you've earned, you gain in a firm while working for a firm?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was only with you for about 3 months when you invited me to Las Vegas, which was like a bucket list thing that I never even dreamed that I would be able to go on, let alone for free. Like, it was wild, and I got to take my partner too.
Okay.
So that was the first thing. You took me to Turkey with my team in May, another absolute insane hotel, amazing entertainment, great food, all inclusive, was mental. I just got invited to Singapore about 5 days ago, and I've also achieved Seychelles for next year. So that's super exciting. I haven't had to pay for petrol for 17 months. I've been getting like 500 quid a month every single month on a fuel card, which is, I can't even remember what it feels like to pay for petrol anymore. And before I came here, we were struggling to fill our car up because my other business was going backwards. My check was going down. I couldn't make it go up anymore because there was nothing there anymore.
Yeah.
And we were literally struggling to fill up our car. Like, we were like penny picking and trying to budget our way to filling up our car. And now I haven't paid for it for 17 months, which I and my team who got it think is wild. I think that's an amazing perk. Voucher hunters, I think, is absolutely amazing. A lot of people got voucher hunters yesterday, and the money's insane. Like, I can't talk about money on here, but the money is chef's kiss.
So it feels much, much better than living on benefits, right?
Oh, I can't even tell you. There was times in my life where I was living off like £90 a week. £90 a week with 2 babies, trying to get to college, trying to get to my job. And I was a young mum as well. So I had my first one at 16, my second one at 17. And so trying to get a part-time job and college around 2 kids was almost impossible as it was. We could never live in a place where we wanted to live. I was always just picking up properties where what would basically take me. And I felt like I was on this constant hamster wheel. Like, if I got an extra 5 hours at work, my benefits would be taken off me in another place. And so I felt like I was trapped in this system that it was impossible to get out of. And then network marketing came along in 2018, and it completely changed my life, and I've never been back on them since, touch wood.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing because yeah, a lot of people, they cannot really get from this vicious circle, and
It's awful.
basically once they start taking benefits, they just accept their life as it is. So even though they would like to make some changes, they are really skeptical and maybe even scared to start something new. But like in network marketing, there's no risk involved, basically, right?
Yeah, especially in this one with it being free. Like you literally don't have to put a penny in, and you can just start using the systems. And if you get some sales, and you get some people joining your team, that's great. But also if you don't and you don't like it, you've not put any money in at all. And that's another thing that I absolutely loved. I was never going to be part of something that was trying to take hundreds of pounds off people, because I know with the current market that we're in right now and the economic crisis, like there's no way that people can afford it. So I know that if people are putting it in, it is because they're desperate, and that means that I'm taking something from somebody, and I'm not here for that.
Yeah. Okay, so what are your future plans for your business and your team?
Ooh. I would love Jasper Star by the end of this year. We got to diamond in 87 days, I think, when I first started, and we've managed to sustain that apart from a few drops down to gold, which I'm not mad about at all. I would love to get to Jasper Star by the end of this year. And then be reaching some Leanne Ramby, Joe Skipsey type of money. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would love that. I would love that. That would be my dream. But I would also just love to grow the team. And I love that our team it's not a team of a certain type of person. It's a very diverse types of team. Like there's lots of different people, lots of walks of life. So I would just love to reach more people and help them reach their own potential too.
And the last thing that I would like to ask you about, what advice would you give to someone who is currently struggling and wants to achieve success?
Oh my gosh, keep going. Keep going. Like when I started, like I said, I was in such a negative mindset. And for the first year in my network marketing journey, so all of 2017 until I found my second company in 2018, when I decided I knew my direction, I made no money. I made none. And I even had my partner, who is my biggest cheerleader now. I took this man to Las Vegas. Like, he believes, he hasn't paid for petrol in his car for a year. He's a strong believer now, right? But at the time, I remember it distinctly, we were out delivering parcels, because at the time these parcels came from America and I had to ship them all out, and it was an absolute nightmare. But we were out in the car and I was delivering, and he literally looked at me and said, "Kelsey, are you even making any money from this?" And I can't lie. So I was like, "No." And he was like, "Then what are you doing?" And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove you wrong. Like, give me another year, give me 2 years, give me however many years it is. I'm going to work it out. I'm going to find what I want, and I'm going to make it work. And I did. However, if I'd have taken on all of the people I worked with at the chip shop were like, "Oh, she's in a pyramid scheme," my friends were like, "Oh, you're never going to make any money. Nobody makes any money at that." My partner was saying, "Why are you even bothering?" If I'd have taken on all of that negative energy and quit, I actually don't know where my family would be right now. I don't know what would be happening right now, but it scares me to even think about. And I'm just so glad I kept going. So just stay consistent, make sure you've got a clear direction of where you want to go and what you want to be within it.
Yeah.
And just keep going, just keep going.
Okay, thank you very much, Kelsey, for so interesting and inspiring stories and valuable insights that you shared with everyone today. That was really, truly motivating. And I think quite a lot of people need that kind of motivation, because every now and then people face obstacles. And sometimes, like when they feel such good energy like yours, they feel much better after that. And they feel, okay, I can do it. So thank you very much for joining us, and thank you everyone for joining us and listening to Kelsey. So that was episode number 18. Stay tuned for the next episode. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.